everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. I am Jen. This is Bookmark by Jen, and today I'm coming at you with, well, if you guys have been around the last couple years, then you know that the end of the year is really like one of my favorite times to create videos and to watch videos because, it's the start of a new year. So we're reflecting on what we've done, making goals for the new year. So that's basically what this video is. I mean, clearly, I put it in the title, so you know that. But first, I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who commented on my last couple of videos and gave suggestions for videos that you want to see, like recommendation videos and all that. I really do appreciate that, and those videos are coming. But I do this every year, so I thought, why not share what I've come up with or share my process with you guys. I do a lot of reflecting, as we do. It is, the end of the year. You do a lot of reflecting, make goals for the new year, and I think we all do that in some capacity, whether it's we're spending hours and hours on this and creating big vision boards or just jotting down some of the things that we want to remember to keep in our mind to do for the next year. So this is basically my goals for reading. I do have some personal goals as well, but this is focusing more on like the reading part of my journey. Okay, let's talk goals for 2025 and reflect on 2024. So let's just start with what I wanted to read in 2024. So I set my Goodreads challenge at 80 books. I think that in 2023 I did the same thing, and that's basically, I know that I will surpass that more than likely, but I put it there to have a goal. It's not there to pressure me. It is there just to, I guess, egg me on, encourage me on. But it's never there. I never want my reading goal to challenge me. So I've reflected on that a little bit more this year, and I feel like I needed to get the same amount of number that I had last year or surpass that. And I don't like that feeling. And I don't want to encourage myself to have that feeling anymore. So I think for the new year, I am going to just put 80 as my reading goal. But I am more focused on reading quality than quantity. This year, I think it was like actually in the end of 2023 that I was like starting to be okay with the idea of a DNF. I think I have to go back and look, but I think I might have DNF like one book that year, which was like my first book that I ever DNF'd because there was just something about that I just couldn't fathom. However, this year I have DNF'd my fair share of books, and I've been okay with that. I have let that go. I realized that the books that I probably should have DNF'd in the past, they have been the culprit of putting me in a book slump. And I haven't been in a book slump this year. I have read a little bit slower or been a little bit slower to get through some books sometimes, but I've never really hit a book slump, knock on wood. And that really is a first for me to not be in a book slump. There have been slower months. It's like about the mid-year that I always seem to read the most books. I don't know what that's about, but I do know like around the mid-year this year, I hit a series that I had been really interested in, and I really enjoyed it, and I just kind of binged that series, and it was like one after another, and they kind of rolled into each other. That type of reading binge I'm okay with, but I would like to consciously slow that down a little bit in 2025 because I have a really big problem of, even if I love a book, I mean, I'm giving it 5 stars. There are many times where I will put that book down and forget character names, main character names, or big plot points. Like a week later, I cannot even remember. But I loved that book. Does anybody else? Like, why? So I feel like, and I would like, this is kind of an experiment, is it because I'm immediately putting down a book and then reaching for a next book? Even if it's in the same series or not in the same series, it's immediate. I have to continue and pick up a book. And I don't know if that's because I'm so afraid of getting into a reading slump either. So I don't know. There's like some leeway there that I would like to play with. Another goal that I've set for myself in 2025 is around my rating scale. I've actually have a rating scale where I have gone through and said, this is this is what I put at a 1, 2, 3, 4, like, and to help me to better rate books. And I've done that with Spice as well. I have not stuck to that rating system. I sometimes feel like it's almost like I feel bad rating anything 3 stars or less, even when I haven't liked it. I will like bump up a star, or I feel like pressure because I don't know what that is, but I need to stick to my guns, and it is about how I feel. Maybe it's just because I love authors so much and I have such respect for authors and the amount of work that they do to put this work out, especially our indie authors, and I feel bad, but if I didn't like something, I didn't like something, and I need to be okay with that. It doesn't mean that I will never read from that author again or whatever it is, but I need to be better with that. In the same vein, I need to immediately write a review. I have, and I talked about this in my holiday planner. It was one of my holiday gifts that I think would be amazing for anybody who is an avid reader. So this is my Always Fully Booked 2024, and it's got the reviews in the back. And so sometimes I have to sit with a book for a second, but if I'm going to do that, then I'm not immediately picking up another book and start reading. I need to do the review before, and like that is a goal that I need to set for myself. Before I pick up another book, I need to write a review, even if it's just the review portion in my planner, because then I can go back and look at that review and then correlate that to Amazon and Goodreads, which I need to get better at as well. I'll just rate it on Goodreads, or I'll rate it and review it in my book, but then I never transfer that to where anybody else can see it. I'm just putting a rating. I need to put the review. I need to be better at reviews. It is a huge goal for me this year, is to be better at the reviews. I know that I have a bad problem with it because I'm like, oh, I'm just going to review it on my channel, or I put in the star rating or whatnot, but that's just, I don't feel like it's enough. I need to be better at that because, again, I do respect my authors. So to give respect to those authors, review the book. All right, what else do we have here? Okay, so here's a big thing: new releases, backlist, all that. Let's talk about that for a second. So I do sign up for ARCs pretty frequently. I try to be very cognizant about that though, because I try not to overfill my plate. I don't want to be strapped down to a lot of ARCs that then I'm not reading what I want to read. And I know that that sounds really weird because, of course, I want to read these ARCs. I never sign up for something that I don't want to read just to have an arc. Is because I love that author, or the tropes have really kicked in, and then I read the synopsis and I'm like, damn, I gotta read that. And I found some really amazing authors that way, who now I need to read backlist. So that goes in, that ties in together. So new releases and arcs. I want to be, again, and I've done a really good job of this, so I want to maintain how I sign up for ARCs. I don't want to sign up for too many. Now, that being said, there are certain times where our authors, like our favorite authors, or new releases are coming out that they're coming out pretty consecutively and clumped together. And there's been a few times this year that that's happened to me, but that's very far and few between. So I want to make sure that I'm not signing up for too many, but I keep really good track of that. Not only do I have it in my planner here because, I'm a pen and paper gal, but I also will stick that in my Google Calendar so that it just definitely reminds me when I have to do like release blitzes and stuff like that. And then we have our new releases that, are just new releases and I'm excited to read. And there are a ton of those. I have noticed, like, I do read new releases, and there are certain people who I will drop everything to read, but I want to have more of a balance. And I've done pretty good about that with new releases and backlists, but there are just, especially with new authors that I have recently found this year, I want to go back and read some of these backlists, or make sure that I'm reading these, and that goes back to our enormous TBR. So I want to concentrate on some backlists from some authors that I really enjoy this year, and I want to make that a priority. That being said, another priority that I want to do, and that was a goal for 2024, and I failed. I absolutely feel that it was audiobooks. I used to read a lot of audiobooks, but I used to drive a lot, and I think I correlate audiobooks to driving, because I like to listen. I don't want to like miss certain things. I'm not giving a book justice that way. So, and I will miss certain things if I'm like doing other things. That all to say, I want to make a priority to at least get to one audiobook each month. I mean, that's not a big goal. I think that I can do that. One audiobook a month. I have a ton of audiobooks in my library. Like, they're purchased, ready to go. And have I read them? No. But I want to make that a priority because I really do love listening to audiobooks and I love narrators. So I really don't feel like this is a huge goal that I can't hit. It's one a month. I haven't done like my entire 2024 wrap up, so I don't know how many it is, but I'm gonna tell you like it's like three or less. I've read three or less audiobooks this year. I think that is really bad. One of those was an ALC. It was the first ALC that I have signed up for, and it had nothing to do with the narration. I thought the narration was perfect, but I DNF'd the book. It. We should talk about that. Do you guys want to hear about like books that I didn't like? Again, like I apparently rate things a little bit higher because I'm so concerned with the ratings, which is a goal of mine this year. But do you want? Are you interested in books that I just didn't like and why? Do we want to hear rants about that? Because especially the DNFs, there are some rants about those. Let me know if you're interested in that. You're definitely going to get my top books of the year. But do you want a little bit of rant of why I didn't like some books? I mean, because they're probably centered around the heroine. I have problems with my heroine. So, okay, so what else do we have? We have my reading goal, which I think I'm just going to set at 80 or 85 this year. I am not trying to beat a certain number. I don't need to get, honestly, like, I don't even think that I would be mad if I didn't hit 100 books for 2025. I want to just read. It's not about the amount of books that I'm reading. I don't need to read in the hundreds. I want to read good books and I want to remember these books. And I've read some really great books this year and I want to keep up that momentum. So what else? Yeah, I mean, so we've got quality over quantity. We've got want to read. I want to get into more backlists. I want to really my entire goal around all of this is that I want to be more present when I'm reading. It's not about just reading a book. It is immersing myself in that book, in that world, in those characters, really getting a feel for it, being happy about what I'm reading. If I don't like what I'm reading, it is okay to not read it. And I don't know why it's taken me so long to get to that point, but this is my thing. This is my hobby. This is what I could talk hours about. So I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And again, I want to be, it's all about being more present. That is like my whole entire goal around 2025 is just being more in the moment, being more present. If that means putting down social media for a little bit, then that's what that is. I definitely want to be more present in not only my reading goals, but personal life as well. So there you go. I mean, I know that this wasn't the most exciting video, but I really enjoy watching people's create their goals and seeing how they're going to map out their year. I knew this was only like my reading goals. Of course, I have, like I said, personal goals as well. But if you are up to sharing any of your reading goals for 2025 or even any of your personal resolutions or goals for the new year, I would love to hear what those are. Leave them in the comments for us below. You guys, I really am excited about 2025. I think it's going to be a really good year. I have some other fun things in the mix, but I don't want to talk about them just yet because they're very, very new. I'm really excited. Like, I'm just excited to see what 2025 brings to us. I hope everybody is having an amazing holiday season. By the time you see this, Christmas more than likely is already going to pass. It's been one hectic couple of weeks for me, but I finally was able to sniff out some time to create a couple videos. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's it. Let me know what your goals are for 2025. It could be anything. I just want to hear about it. Okay, anyway, I'm going to catch you guys next time. But until then, happy reading. Bye.